My name is Steffanie Altenbern, and I am an assistant professor of social work, teaching in the Master of Social Work program. Some of my best memories are with my family. Happily married to my husband, Kyle, and we have 4 beautiful daughters. During COVID, everything is shut down, and my husband is just like, we need to have some fun, and we're going to buy a boat. And I'm like, a boat? No, I do not want to buy what are we doing here? It ended up just being one of those things. And I'm like, you know what, honey, this means enough to you. Let's go buy a boat. So we go buy this boat and we get out there, fast forward probably a month or so later. And he really wants to try this wake surfing stuff. And we've got friends that are all into it. And I am the only one that is visibly not for this. And so they kind of conned me into getting into the water and trying this surf thing. And we were with an old friend and she's like, hey, we're going to try this. I'm totally going to do this with you. And then it kind of just bailed and I did it on my own. And I got in the boat and I said, honey, I think we need a bigger boat. And he was like, this. And, everybody was just kind of laughing. But I look back on how I have learned that being a social worker is really, really hard work, right? I am constantly, on a day-to-day basis when I go do home visits or I'm out in the field working with clients, I just never know what I'm going to get myself into. But I also think it's such an honor to be able to walk alongside people who truly need it the most. And so there has to be a balance. We have to have some fun with that. Whether we are camping, because we very much enjoy the outdoors. I will never forget when we first came to Oregon and took our girls camping. And the campground we were at, you walk over this hill and the ocean is right there, and just, the looks on their faces, it was priceless. But being able to find those ways and those outlets, those are probably some really fun memories that come to mind. I got into teaching, I guess by God, if you will, because I always knew that, or I'd always been told, I guess, that I just had a good way of explaining things, which when people would say that, I was like, well, that's really funny because I feel like I don't really know if I'm making any sense, but it worked. So I actually started teaching adjunct. I was just teaching very part-time online courses for the school I graduated back in Michigan. And was thinking, gosh, I actually kind of really enjoy this. And over the course of being a social worker out in the field, I always had interns. There's a really beautiful thing about having students working with you because they are thinking more outside of the box because they have all these assignments and requirements that they have to do that for. And when you're in the field, it's so tunnel vision and you just kind of have your head down on the computer and you're seeing clients and you're just getting the work done. And so when we were living in another state, there was an opportunity at one of the institutions there for full-time teaching, and I jumped in and haven't looked back because it's just a passion, and I really couldn't imagine doing anything different, of course, being a social worker, but I get to do both in social work. When students are done with my courses, I hope that they have grown as a person. I also hope that they learn some what not to do's by what Dr. Altenbern has done, because I always share, hey guys, check out this story of what I did or what I said to a client and it did not go well, because I want them to understand that even though I've been a social worker for a long time, there are still there's still areas that I'm going to fail in. I say the wrong things to clients all the time. I want them to recognize that they do not have to go out into the field and be perfect, because they're going to be lifelong learners. I tell my students all the time, the clients are the expert of their own story. So if they are constantly placing themselves in a position where they can learn, they're going to be a good social worker. And sometimes our theme is good enough, because you're working with clients who have messy stories and you get the honor to partner along with them. And so I want them to see all of the different pieces, that they're going to continue to grow, that it's not easy work, but that they're going to have good support. When students leave classes, I want them to see how far they've grown as a person. One of the themes of the courses I used to teach is know thyself. And I tell them, I know you guys are coming into the program thinking you're going to learn all these great skills, and you are, but you're also going to get to know yourself so well that you're going to be able to go work in a multitude of environments and come out as a better person. Because so much in social work there's so many interpersonal skills you're developing. And so I think just as a piece of encouragement for students that are coming in is don't be afraid to get a B. I tell students all the time, you're gonna be a great social worker. If you get B's, it's okay. If you are getting feedback, you are placing yourself in a position where you can continue to grow. And you're going to be challenged by your clients all the time. And they're going to say things that you're like, gosh, I hadn't thought about it like that. And you're going to be learning yourself. And so I just think as students make a transition into the field, they recognize that it's much more than just what you can learn in the books, and that you're constantly going to be learning.